Okay, welcome everyone to our December monthly check-in, and I am very thrilled to welcome our guest presenter today, Stephanie Cheung. Steph, yay!
Thank you
Steph
for
is,
having me,
yeah,
everyone.
Steph's an elementary school teacher. Right now you're teaching a grade 1-2 split in Markham. And you're also a yoga teacher, a mindfulness teacher. And funny enough, Steph and I met in New Orleans in 2015 when Steph came from Ontario to New Orleans to take the summer certification. And that was the first time I had ever offered it in New Orleans, and it was really fun. We had a good time.
Really, really.
So now I've known Steph for 7 years since you've graduated, and Steph has a new book out called Mac Learns to Roar, and I love it. I recommend it, and I wanted her to share it with you today and talk about mindfulness with kids and mindfulness in the classroom. So please help me welcome Steph, everyone.
Hi, thank you. Mhm.
Welcome, Steph.
Thank you for having me, everyone. It is an honor to share my story with you. Yeah, I wrote the story actually during the pandemic, like Mac Learns to Roar. And yeah, 2 years ago, actually, because this is 2022, we're in our second or third year of the pandemic. And like when everything was uncertain and everything slowed down for us, I started thinking, oh, like now's the time to explore something I've always wanted to do, which was, I guess, writing. But at the time, I didn't know I was going to write a children's book, to be honest, because I didn't know. And then like I actually Aruna suggested that she asked us if we wanted to take a writing course with her. Remember Aruna? Yeah.
Right? That was the Leonie Dawson 40 Days to Write Your Book
Mhm.
course.
And then at the time, I just thought I've always wanted to write something, but I didn't know. But then I did it. And the 40 days, it really motivated me to figure out what I wanted to write. So one of the days she suggested that we brainstorm. And then I just started writing all these ideas I wanted to write about. And then like the mindfulness topic just came out of it because we had to circle what we really wanted to do. And then I really thought about it because COVID was 2020. So like a year or two before that, so pre-COVID, I've started having parents and students, like, colleagues asking me how you integrate mindfulness into the classroom, into their homes, into everyday life. Because I started integrating that in my classroom and they were just really interested in it. And I also saw the positive effects of it in my classroom. And then they always ask me, how do you do it? How do you do it? And I say, well, like read this book and do that. But then I thought during COVID time, why don't I write a story that's easy for kids to understand and also for adults who aren't really familiar with mindfulness to really understand it along with the kids and do it with them. So it's my hope that this will be a really useful resources for adults and kids alike. So that's why I wrote it. And then now it's here.
Oh, great. Well, I can't wait for us to read a little bit of it. I know it's a longer book. When I got my copy and I saw it was 75 pages long, I thought, wow, that's long, but it's really nice. It has a lot of activities in it, and it has like journaling activity pages at the end that the kids can complete their ideas on their own. So we probably won't get through the whole book
Mhm.
today, but we'll definitely get a good taste of it.
Yes. So a little bit, I guess I'll explain. So usually I have read this like many times now since it got published in June to students in the classroom and in yoga classes. And usually this is why I suggest like depending on what groups of kids you work with. So if you're working with preschoolers or kindergarten age kids like 4 and 5, I would break this book apart because it's quite long. So like if you go through the whole book, it's about 30 minutes of a read aloud. But it also has mindfulness exercises integrated throughout that, it's worth it if you read a few pages, talk about it, and then go practice those mindfulness exercises. So for the young ages, that's why I suggest like break it into a few days. Or if you're teaching yoga, break it like, throughout the month, right? Week 1, do this, week 2, do that, and then revisit it. And then for older kids, I have read it to, like my own grade 2s, grade 3, and even grade 4, like 9-year-olds. So you can do this whole book in 30 minutes because throughout, like there's a lion's breath in there that you can do with them throughout the story. And you can do it with them because they have longer attention span. And if they're really invested in it, they would be really listening to it and doing it with you. So that's what I suggest. So I will read it a little bit like as if I were reading it to kids today. And I would like you to join me in doing some of the exercises in there. So pretend you're a kid too, because, so you can feel you're in, the kid's shoes. So when you're teaching it or using it, you can feel like that kid. That's what I invite you to do. So it's called Mac Learns to Roar, a mindfulness book for kids and animals. One beautiful morning in the savannah, Mac the lion woke up and was excited to start the day with a big roar. But there was a problem. He did not know how to roar. Mac's dad promised he would teach him how to roar before he went to school. Mac knew learning how to roar was important. He felt proud that his dad thought he was ready to do for this big job. Mm-hmm. Can you see it? You know what I'm going to do? I will put the picture like this. I'll just be off the camera. Mac licked his paws clean and brushed his short mane so he would not be late for practice. He wanted to eat fast, so there would be lots of time before school to learn the important job of roaring. He swallowed his breakfast in one big bite. And usually I come here and I show the kids like this word. And I would say, oh, can you say it with me? It's all in, uppercase letters. We all say it loudly? So gulp. And then they love this part. They're like, gulp. After he finished eating, Mac puffed out his chest and said, Daddy, I'm ready to learn how to roar, just like you. Okay, son, said Mac's father. I will share a secret on how to make a nice big roar. Are you ready? Mac's whole body shook with excitement. He said very loudly, yes. Follow these steps, said his father. 1, inhale slowly through your nose. 2, exhale through your mouth. 3, make a loud ha sound. 4, stick your tongue as far out as possible, all the way to your chin. Mac followed his dad's instructions, and usually, so I don't read this part yet. Usually we do it together over here. So let's just practice doing it together. So after I read the instructions, I say it slowly again, and then we all do it slowly. So are you excited? Is everyone ready? So then usually I say you can be, let's say we're sitting, because usually when I'm reading to the kids, they're on the floor already, like on the carpet or on the floor. So then I say, you can pretend you're a lion. So I would say, take your paws out like this, like you're a lion. And then I say, so I'm going to say slowly. So I say, you inhale slowly through your nose. And then because it's 3 complicated steps really. So then I say, as you exhale, you say ha and stick your tongue out. So then I demonstrate for them. And then yes, you got it, Rosemary. So let's take a deep breath in. Are you ready? Ha. Yes, like this. Excellent. And then I say, good job. And if you want to visit it, at the back, there's teaching guide for educators, yoga teachers, and parents. Usually, it's really the lion's breath based on the yoga pranayama, the breath, the lion's breath. And usually for that one, you look up into the sky as you stick your tongue out and say ha. But kids, we don't really need to get into that much. But if later on you want to visit it, you can explore it more at the back over here. So good job. And then, so I say, Mac followed his dad's instructions. But his ha sound was as quiet as a mouse. Mac was upset that his roar was not as loud as his dad's. His whole face and body became an angry shade of red, and he began to rip up the grass around him. He was so frustrated, he grabbed a rock and threw it out. The rock flew through the air and hit Mac's dad. Instead of getting angry, Mac's dad said calmly, "It's okay, son. It was your first time. You tried your best. The perfect roar takes practice, time, and patience. You'll get the hang of it." Oh, there he is. But Mac was so angry that he did not want to listen. He stomped off. And usually this part, I say, oh, hey, let's everyone pretend we're Mac and let's go stomping off. And then we do it. On his way to school, Mac met his good friend Pendle the pancake tortoise. Pendle shouted, hey, Mac, you look upset. Slow down. Tell me what happened. Mac replied, I'm not a good lion. I can't even roar like my dad. Pendle sighed. Oh, Mac, learning something new takes time and practice. Why don't you join me on a slow, mindful walk to school? Walking slowly and breathing deeply always helps me when I need to calm my body and mind. Mac and Pendle walk slowly and mindfully, paying attention to the breath with each step. They focus on the natural beauty around them, staying silent as they walk side by side. And then here, because this is the second mindfulness exercise that's integrated, which is the mindfulness walk. So if you like, you can practice a mindfulness walk with the kids. So if you were doing this outside, it's so nice to really be out in nature. But, usually when we're teaching the kids yoga, it's like indoor in a studio or in a, maybe in the church's like basement, or, you're in the classroom teaching it to them. So then I would say like, imagine, we're just going to focus on our walking, and the instructions are at the back here. It's called mindfulness walking meditation. So let's all practice that. So you can be off screen because I have done this. Actually, I've also done mindfulness training and with the adults. And then usually when I did it with one of my trainers, we weren't outside, and they just say, find a little corner in your room. So wherever you are, or in front of the camera. So then you find a little space that you can walk up and down, up and down. So that's what we usually would do. So if you had a yoga mat in front of you, you would, use the yoga mat length to walk back and forth, back and forth. But so just everyone, I invite you to find a space in your room. It doesn't have to be a long space, just a little bit where you can walk back and forth, back and forth. And I will just read from the instructions in the book at the back. Okay, so great. So everyone, and just so you know, this walking meditation is actually inspired by Thich Nhat Hanh's teaching, if you know about him, and he wrote a poem, Kiss the Earth, which is so beautiful. All right, everyone. So walk slowly, paying attention to every step you take. With every step you take, imagine your feet kissing the ground, like you are being kind, gentle, and loving to earth. So really imagine your feet kissing the ground. Feel your body filling up with peace and happiness with every step you take. As you walk, you may say to yourself, breathing in, I am peace. Breathing out, I am happy. Continue as long as you like, and see if you can match your steps with your breath. So usually I just continue for 1 more minute. Just breathing in, I am peace. Breathing out, I am happy. When you hear the singing bowl sound, you may come back to your seat. Does anyone want to share with us how you felt for that little 1-2 minutes of mindfulness walking?
I don't mind sharing. It just reminded me of how important it is for me to just stop because I've been going, and I was so grateful that I joined you. Um, so I was feeling grateful, and I love how you use the word kissed the earth. Like I just try to, imagine that I had lips on my feet. That really, I try to create that image.
Okay, yes, thank you, Sagal. Is it Sagal? Am I saying it correctly? Thank you so much. Actually, like kiss the earth. It's not my idea. Are you familiar with the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh? Yeah, so it's his idea. He wrote the poem Kiss the Earth, and it's like his whole idea. And it makes it so visual, right? As you were saying, for the kids to really imagine and teaching them how to be kind to earth, like and loving. Like, because we're always in a rush. We're always like, when we're walking, we're maybe like stopping and just like off to the next place. Even like I'm thinking my own students, in school, like they rush off to gym class or they rush off here to music class, right? So like if we just even as adults, be the role model to slow down and really walk, softly and gently. It's like kissing the earth, right? It's just like that reminder. So I just found that really beautiful. So I want to incorporate that into the book. Oh, yes.
Melanie left a comment that it was so beautiful. It was nice for this moment of calm.
Okay. Thank you, Melody. Thank you. So I'll continue. Okay, let's see what happens now that they reach school. So here's the picture. When the two friends reached school, Mac noticed that he was much calmer than before. In fact, he could not even remember why he was so upset earlier. Mac was excited to share the news that his dad believed he was ready to learn the important job of roaring. His classmates asked him to roar for them. Mac thought, okay, I'll do it. Dad and Pendle said the more I practice, the better I'll become. So I will be great. Right, so there he is smiling. Mac slowly put his paws in front of him and took a deep breath. He remembered his dad's words. 1, inhale slowly through your nose. 2, exhale through your mouth. 3, make a loud ha sound. 4, stick your tongue as far out as possible all the way to your chin. This time, I wonder what Mac sounds like this time, everyone. Why don't we help him to roar? Okay, are you ready, everyone? Okay, let's take out your paws. Okay, let's slowly inhale slowly through your nose. And you know what to do when we exhale. Wow, it sounds really loud. Let's see what happens in the book. Good job, everyone. This time, Mac's roar sounded like a warthog. Wow, is that louder than a mouse? Yes. And then usually this time the kids are really excited because it sounded louder than the mouse. Oh, some classmates laughed. This made Mac upset. His face and body got really red and hot. Mac shouted, I don't like any of you. Mac started throwing rocks everywhere. Oh no, look at this. What do you think is going to happen next? So usually I say that, and then the kids will raise their hand and talk about what's going to happen and what they think will happen. Mac's teacher, Miss Gentle Giraffe, walks calmly to Mac and said softly, I can teach you a special technique that helps with big feelings. Come with me. Let's go to the quiet corner. Mac followed Miss Gentle to a quiet spot, and both of them sat with their legs crossed. Miss Gentle said, now, let's breathe together. Take one deep breath into your belly and breathe out of your nose slowly. Do this 10 times and focus on how your body feels. You can even close your eyes if you like. Oh, wow. What do you think, everyone? Shall we take 10 deep breaths? Okay, everyone, let's do it. And then this is usually where you can also pause and do it. And if you're not sure the words to use, because at the back also, there's like my 10 deep belly breath, like for the guide over here that you can read the instructions to the kids, or, but, we're all, I think we're all yoga teachers. We can take 10 deep belly breath, right? So usually you can I give them a choice. You can sit comfortably on your chair, on the floor, on the carpet, and you may close your eyes or look at one spot in front of you gently. And let's all take 10 deep breaths together. So here, sometimes if they're older kids, I let them do it on their own. And if they're younger kids, I would do the counting for them. I would say like, like 1, and then they inhale, exhale, I'll go 2 just to keep count. Okay, so how about like, let's pretend we're all little kids in kindergarten. So, all right, are you ready, everyone? So, all right, closing your eyes. Let's take 1 deep breath into the belly. And slowly out of our nose. 2, inhale. Exhale. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If your eyes are closed, you can gently blink them open and come back. And then over here, you can talk to them, like how they feel, and continue the story. So as Mac breathed deeply and slowly, he noticed the heat on his face and body was slowly disappearing. At the end of quiet breathing time, Miss Gentle asked Mac how he felt. Mac said, I feel much better and my body has cooled down. Miss Gentle reminded Mac, you are learning something new. Be kind to yourself and be patient. Mac thanked Miss Gentle, and for the rest of the school day, he felt peaceful inside. So on his way home, Mac practiced the mindfulness walk that Pendo taught him. He felt light and calm inside. He also thought about what Miss Gentle said, that he needed to be kind to himself. I'm going to stop here because we're halfway in the story. So we've done so far 3 mindfulness exercises. The remaining of the story, there's the last, mindfulness exercises integrated in it.
I do want to just ask Steph a little bit about her teaching and mindfulness in the classroom, because I think it's so nice to have someone who's working with children every day. Like it's nice when when I teach and I go in somewhere once a week or something, I only see the kids once a week, but I just know from being an aunt and hearing from parents and school teachers, like there's a certain everydayness to life that is challenging for teachers and parents. What's it like when you do this read the book with kids every day?
Okay, so I forgot to some of you you're yoga teachers for kids, right? So I don't know, Robert, if you've seen it. That breathing ball, or we not always introduce that, right? So the kids they like visual, so they like to look at that. So we actually begin our day every morning when they come in, because it's agile. Some of them they go to early daycare because parents have to go downtown to work, so they get dropped off at 7 a.m. in the morning. But school starts at 9 a.m., right? So they've had a really long morning already. And some of them, just the other day, a little one of mine said he was really upset with his dad. And I said, why? He's like, my dad yelled at me before I came to school. All those little things, as parents or adults you go through. So I thought, why not start every morning with breathing deeply and just using the breathing ball. So we start in a circle in the morning every single day. And then whoever is the special student of the day, they get to choose how many breaths they want to do the breathing with. But there's a rule. I said, we can't do 60 breaths. I said, because that's a really long time. right? And because the office will start calling like, oh, Miss Cheung, where's the attendance? You didn't do the attendance yet, because we've done it a few times. So then we have to come up with a limit. So I say you can do 3 to 10 breaths, slow and deeply. So then we do that. So that's one thing to calm them down and get them focused and ready for learning. So because deep breathing really regulates, helps your body and your heart and your mind. So that's one thing I do every day. And then after lunchtime, we do a mindfulness moment. Like ideally, it's like to do it throughout the day, but because like the school day it's so packed, it's not always me teaching. There's the music teacher, there's the trauma and dance teacher. So we always are committed to doing like a few minutes of mindfulness moment right after lunchtime when they come in from recess. So usually I have a deck of cards, but sometimes I ask them, oh, would you like to use math and use one of these exercises? And then I would read it and then we would do it. Or Mindful Kids. I wish I brought my deck. It's in my classroom. Do you know that it's called Mindful Kids? And there's different mindfulness exercises in there for like focus, for relaxation. And then I have the star student or a special helper choose one, and then we do it together as a class. And they love it because it really calms them down, or maybe they find they're relaxed. Because sometimes I'm in a rush. I try to be mindful every day, but sometimes when you have to get the curriculum going and they have to finish this and this, like sometimes I'm like, we gotta go, and then I forget the mindfulness moment. But the kids, they say, Miss Cheung, you forgot our mindfulness moment. So to them, it's so important to do it. So that makes me so happy that it's a part of their day and they want to do it. And they always remind me we forgot, and like, okay, we'll do it. So that's something we do. And at the end of the day, we do a gratitude circle. So we share with each other what we're grateful for and why. And I find that really builds community and makes them feel like, important.
So with your book, do you read it regularly, or do you just kind of keep it as a reference? Like, this page is really nice. Like, do the kids go to this page and pick an activity
for
they
themselves? Do. Yeah. So this is so this one, so it's as a reference at the front of the classroom. And they choose these for mindfulness moments sometimes, because there's like 6. But usually like the gratitude practice, we do it at the end of the day already as a class. And we also actually forgot to mention, we write in a gratitude journal. So we usually do that at the end of the day. So it's like a little reflection.
And that things
that we do.
How long does that take?
The writing the gratitude?
Yeah.
It takes because I'm teaching grade 1 to 2 this year. They write and they really think. It takes them 20 minutes. Some of them 30 minutes. Because I also want them to draw a picture to match their sentences. So usually I say write 3 things you're grateful for. So I'm teaching split this year. So for grade 1, they just have to say, I am grateful for the sun. And then I say for grade 2s, can you tell me why? So they have to write, I am grateful for the sun because, and then they finish it.
Wow, that's really, that's such a good tip. Thank you, Steph, because when I was thinking of that, I was like, is it 10 minutes? Is it 5 minutes? So when you said 30 minutes, I thought, how nice is that for kids to end the day just feeling like so centered and connecting with something so important. And then they go to that's amazing. I love what you're doing. Before we go, I do want to give a shameless plug for Steph's book. And I just want to show you it where you can get it if anyone's interested. Steph has an online store at mindflowkids.com/shop. And you can get the book right from her. And if you leave a message, she can even autograph it for you and put a message in for if you're giving it as a gift for the holidays or something. She could sign it to one of the kids. Or you can get it on Amazon if that's easier as well. Although I recommend getting it straight from Steph. And then also Steph is giving us, she has some freebies on her website that go with the book. The PDF will be put in the course with the link right to Steph's website. But if you want to just write it down and go there, you can go straight there at mindflowkids.com under freebies.